January 2026 did not arrive with scandal so much as with resolution. What concluded this month was not a relationship, but a prolonged illusion, that the modern British monarchy could indefinitely reconcile family fracture with institutional survival. For years, the public was encouraged to believe that reconciliation between the Prince of Wales and his brother remained possible, even inevitable. Palace language favoured patience and healing, silence was framed as discretion, distance as temporary, yet institutions do not function like families. They operate on limits, incentives, and risk management. Prince William's recent moves, quiet, procedural, almost affectless, signal that those limits have now been reached. This is not exile or rebuke. It is more consequential than either, an institutional decoupling. The monarchy has ceased treating the Duke and Duchess of Sussex as a problem to be managed, and has instead classified them as external to the system, no longer entitled to its protections, privileges, or ambiguity. That distinction matters. Modern monarchies endure not through romance but through coherence. Authority rests on continuity, restraint, and the separation of private grievance from public duty. For several years, the Sussex arrangement blurred that line. Titles remained while functions disappeared. Royal status was invoked even as royal discipline was rejected. The contradiction proved unsustainable. What William appears to have concluded, correctly from an institutional perspective, is that ambiguity had become corrosive. A monarchy cannot be half in and half out without hollowing both states. The decision bears none of the marks of anger. It is administrative, almost bureaucratic. Links quietly removed, references allowed to lapse, responsibilities not reassigned, silence deployed not as punishment but as policy. Indifference, not confrontation, has become the decisive instrument. For Prince Harry, this marks a difficult reckoning. His narrative cast him as a moral corrective to a rigid institution, trading proximity to power for authenticity. But moral critique loses force when it becomes a product, and institutions lose patience when internal dissent becomes an external business model. The grievance was powerful because it came from within. Once outside, it becomes commentary rather than testimony. Access, not anger, confers relevance. For Meghan Markle, the consequences are structural rather than personal. Elite social capital depends on future access, not past association. Prestige is transactional, not sentimental. When the palace signals that a connection has no future utility, markets recalibrate. Influence follows proximity to power, and when proximity vanishes, attention migrates. What is striking is not severity but restraint. There has been no condemnation, no theatrical exile. The monarchy has simply stopped organizing itself around the Sussex question. In institutional terms, that is final. William's calculation reflects a broader truth. Systems survive not by absorbing every shock but by deciding which shocks they will no longer absorb. The monarchy has chosen coherence over catharsis, continuity over conversation. Family narratives may continue elsewhere, but the state has moved on. This is not about villains or victims. It is about the difference between personal narrative and institutional logic. Families negotiate, institutions decide. And when they decide, they rarely look back. The gates have not been slammed. They have been locked quietly from the inside. Silence here is not avoidance, it is governance. What remains after the noise fades is precedent, the true currency of institutions that expect to outlast generations.